Samsung's back with the Galaxy XR. Yes, we finally have the name, price, release date, controllers confirmed, and major specs dropped. This is the headset we've been waiting on, and I was lucky enough to get some extended hands-on time with it at the Galaxy event in New York. I'm Kaz, XR Explorer for the past 8 years, and I'm here to break down everything you need to know. Quick heads up, Samsung covered the trip, but as always, this is my honest take, so subscribe to stay jacked in and join me beyond reality. So, Galaxy XR is a standalone mixed reality headset, and it's not just Samsung working alone. The headset is the result of a huge collaboration with Google and Qualcomm. It runs on the new Android XR platform, which is a big deal because it means support for all Android apps in the Play Store, so the ecosystem is already massive. Think Gmail, YouTube, Google Maps, and even Netflix, but then in a spatial environment. It uses the Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2 chip, not the most powerful but fine-tuned for spatial apps, tools, and AI. It runs independently without needing a phone or PC, but it does require a power bank, which connects magnetically to the headset using this pin right here. The other end connects with a USB-C cable. Battery life is confirmed at around 2 to 2.5 hours depending on use. It's not hot swappable, but you can unplug it and use your own USB-C power bank to extend the session or just keep it plugged in. Small flexibility, but could matter for longer use. The design focuses on comfort, so it includes an elite-like style strap with a soft forehead pad and optional light blockers in case you want more focus and less light bleeding in. What's new this time is confirmation of the display tech. The Galaxy XR uses 4K micro OLED panels. Yes, this is why my demo had those deep blacks and sharp details. You also get refresh rate support at 60, 72, and 90 Hz. And here's what else stood out. Eye tracking plus auto IPD adjustment. The IPD range is 54 to 70 mm, which is pretty solid coverage. The field of view is 109 degrees horizontal and 100 degrees vertical. That's Samsung's measurement, which feels pretty standard when I looked through it, but I'll measure it myself soon for a side-by-side comparison. There's support for foveated rendering, nice as you will get better performance without sacrificing visuals. They added iris unlock, so yes, unlocking with your eyes, which will feel futuristic. Specs wise, you've got 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, enough for most XR use cases out of the box. There are sensors everywhere, 2 pass-through cameras, 6 tracking cameras, 4 for eye tracking, 5 IMUs plus a depth sensor, flicker sensor, and proximity sensor on the strap. So it's tracking your face, hands, movements, all of it, and gives you the ability to switch from mixed and virtual reality modes. Audio is built in, 2-way speakers and a 6-mic array. It also has a 3D photo and video capture camera for spatial memories and Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4, which is great news for PC VR streaming with that extra band. But the real shift is on the AI side. The Galaxy XR is the first truly multimodal AI headset powered by Google's Gemini. And by multimodal, I mean it doesn't just do voice commands, it also reads your gaze, facial expressions, hand movements, and understands your environment using all the sensors around the headset. Gemini asks permission before using this data, but once granted, it can understand your intent in more natural and contextual ways. It runs on a chip with an integrated neural processing unit and a dedicated computer vision accelerator, which means it's capable of running advanced AI features directly on the device. This could allow for faster and more private interactions, though to be clear, we don't know yet exactly what parts are processed on the device versus sent to the cloud. I can't wait to check this. But if it delivers, this could be a real breakthrough because no other headset has brought AI tracking and contextual understanding together at this level yet. I'll break down more of what that looks like later in the video. We also have the basics locked in. Galaxy XR is out today on October 21st in the US and Korea, priced at $17.99 or $75 to $149 per month depending on your payment plan, and you can get it on Samsung.com or Samsung Experience stores. At launch, each headset comes with the Explorer pack that has over $1,000 worth of extras like a Google AI Pro, YouTube Premium, Google Play Pass, and everything else you see on screen all included. This is great because it gives you so much to do without needing to buy anything extra to get started. Now the price is still expensive, no doubt about that, but I'm honestly relieved it's a lot lower than the Vision Pro, and I'm just glad to see real competition starting to form in this space. They also showed optional accessories like a sleek travel case and the Galaxy XR controllers at $250, which I'll show in a bit. But what do you think so far from all this? Drop a comment, and if you're into this, hit that like button like it's a launch day panic buy. It helps the channel big time. But this is now my third look at the Galaxy XR with about an hour of hands-on time in total, and now seeing how Samsung framed it this time helped connect a lot of dots from my earlier impressions. In this one, we're focusing on what's new, so if you want more early impressions, check out my previous video, which I'll link below. First off, comfort. I'm happy Samsung seems to be taking this seriously. It's not exactly light at 545 grams, but it felt well balanced and secure. The main pressure point was on my forehead, but I didn't feel the need to readjust. Compared to the Apple Vision Pro out of the box, it already feels like a step up, though I'll wait for longer sessions before making a final call. Visuals still stood out during the demo, especially in Asteroid, which is an interactive 180-degree AI space experience that's exclusive to the Galaxy XR. It's placed me in a dark atmospheric scene, and the 4K OLED displays handled it great with beautifully deep blacks. In that same demo, I had a conversation with an AI-generated version of pro footballer DK. He responded naturally and even switched languages mid-convo. I spoke Dutch, and during the keynote, he spoke Korean. Now, DK's accent was a bit thick, but the real-time response and language flexibility were seriously impressive. They showed this to highlight how in the future you might ask AI characters questions and learn their backstories, adding depth that makes them feel truly alive. It's a great glimpse into where AI-driven storytelling in XR could be headed. I also saw how 2D images can be transformed into spatial memories. A few flat photos were AI processed into 3D, then brought to life with subtle motion, and the result was stunning. I gotta say, the keynote videos actually didn't do it justice. It's something you really have to see firsthand to appreciate. A small but nice to have, Netflix works natively on this headset, and not just in some mobile browser workaround. It supports actual 4K streaming, which is still rare in XR headsets. It's small, but it shows Samsung is serious about app support. Pass-through looked about the same as before, still a bit dark and grainy, but overall solid. Depth sensing was still excellent, and if memory serves, the colors seemed to look better. I'm definitely looking forward to do a proper side-by-side with Apple's and Meta's headsets later. I still didn't get to fully stress test hand tracking, but it felt stable even with my hands resting on my lap. Overall, performance just felt more smooth with this final hardware, but there is still one piece I haven't really tested yet: the controllers. The Galaxy XR is built primarily for hand, eye, and voice input, and all of that worked well in my demos. But for those who prefer physical input like us gamers, Samsung is also releasing 6 DOF controllers as a separate accessory. It's finally confirmed they are optically tracked, including IMUs, and they're powered by AA batteries. I didn't get to try them in action, so I don't know how they track, but I did hold them and they felt light and comfortable in the hand. The design will be familiar if you've used other VR controllers with standard buttons and triggers, and the color matches the headset. It's good to know that they will be available since controllers matter, so I'll test them when I get the chance and see if Samsung is serious about gaming too. Now I have some app and ecosystem updates for you. So a quick recap: since it runs on Android XR, it supports all your favorite Play Store apps from day one. This is a big deal because you get a full library of tools and entertainment ready to go. It's also built on open XR standards, meaning developers can build an app once and have it run across multiple XR devices. That's exactly what the XR world has needed: fewer walls, more access. It could even mean easier ports of games from other systems, though we'll have to see if devs bite. They showed off something called Likeness by Google, basically their version of avatars. It's a digital version of you, including body and hands, that you can use in apps like Google Meet. Gaming-wise, the doors are pretty open. It supports flat Android games, PC VR streaming, and standalone XR titles. Virtual desktop is supported. Great news if you're into PC VR streaming or want to use it for streaming your desktop. Now, the keynote focused a lot on productivity and traditional apps, but honestly, especially with the OLED displays, solid visuals, and controller support. It looks like it could also be a solid VR gaming headset. I'll definitely be testing that out. So yeah, the app support here is pretty solid, but what really makes this headset feel different is the AI. Samsung gave us a better look at what Gemini can actually do live and in action. Like I mentioned earlier, Gemini doesn't just follow voice commands, it sees and understands what you're doing through the headset's sensors. That context awareness is what makes it feel different. So what does that actually look like? In the keynote, Stardew Valley was running on a virtual screen, and mid-game they asked Gemini for help, and it instantly understood the game's state and gave tips without spoiling. Then when asked, it popped up a walkthrough window beside the game, like a smart co-op buddy who just gets it. In another, they were editing video in Adobe Project Pulsar, an exclusive app for Galaxy XR, and they asked Gemini for a fitting text style, and it suggested one based on the clip. They also showed Gemini narrating a freshly AI-generated video on the spot. For window management, it could spatially arrange apps around you just by your command. They also said it can convert 2D apps into 3D, though I haven't seen that in action yet. In my demo, I looked at the photo and asked Gemini to tell me more, and it did. Then I asked it, take me there, and it opened Google Maps at the exact location. I did not give it its location. From there, I jumped into Street View, all without lifting a finger, and then I was able to explore the place. Pretty cool indeed. Now here's the caveat. Most of what we've seen so far is Gemini reacting to what it sees. We still don't know how well it works across multiple apps, like can it really carry context and help you do things, not just respond to them. That's what I'm hoping it can do, because if it does, it could go from a flashy demo to something genuinely useful. Here's my dream scenario. Say you're replying to a client, instead of alt tapping and digging through folders, you just say, hey Gemini, show me my calendar, notes from that meeting, the photo I took, and help me write. And hopefully Gemini just does it. Place your calendar floating above your actual desk, notes appear to the side, photo next to your email, or arranged spatially around you, although magically. Then based on what it finds, it starts drafting your reply, maybe even suggesting phrasing based on past emails. That's not just voice to text anymore, that's real-time assistant powered by a headset that can see your space and respond like an actual assistant. If that kind of intelligence works, it's not just cool, it's a whole new way of getting things done. The kind of workflow phones and laptops just can't offer. Of course, all of this is still unproven, that's why I'm excited to test it more. And yeah, privacy matters here too. Gemini does ask for permission before using sensitive data like gaze or facial expressions, which is great, but how is that data stored or used long term? Still a big question mark, but I'll be looking into that too. So no, it's not quite Jarvis from Iron Man yet, but it feels like we're inching closer. Other headsets are aiming for this too, but right now Samsung and Google seem to be leading that race. So this third hands-on gave me a much clearer picture of where this is going. The hardware solid, comfy fit, sharp visuals, and full app support out of the box, but what's exciting is that Galaxy XR isn't just Samsung's next headset, it's the start of Android XR as a platform backed by Google and Qualcomm with AI at the core. That feels like a real shift, and if it works, it might finally crack XR's biggest problem, giving people a reason to keep coming back. That said, I still have questions. How well does it work with Windows or Android devices? Why were there no controller demos? Are they not ready yet, or just not a focus? Also, all the demos so far have been tightly controlled, no reviewer units yet, which makes it hard to know what's real and what's still marketing. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. There's a lot here to be excited about, but just as much we still need to see proven. And at $1,799, it really comes down to how you plan to use it. So now I'm curious, if you had this headset, what would you actually use it for? Let me know below, and I'll be back with a full review as soon as I can find the unit. But if you want a closer look now already at the design and just more, my hands-on from Google I/O is linked below. Now these videos take a ton of time and money to make, so if this helped you out, hitting like and subscribe goes a long way. Now see you in VR.